So this is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and what you see in front of you is the book of Samuel 1. In other words, we call this Shmuel Aleph. In Hebrew, it's Shmuel. Shmuel's a great prophet. There's a whole story about Shmuel, which is contained at the beginning of this book. But because of the times that we're living in right now, I want to get to the idea of who is our king, King David. So if you look at the Jewish people, we say, well, Netanyahu is the prime minister. Well, that's only prime minister of Israel, but the king of all of the Jewish people, who united all of the Jewish people, was David HaMelech, our loved king. So we're going to read a little bit about his life story now, and we'll just try to put it into different packages and see what we can do. So let's start up the story here. Now, Samuel had come as Samuel Shmuel, and anointed King Shaul, Saul, as king over all the Jewish people. And Samuel said to Saul, "The Lord sent me to anoint you to be king over his people, over Israel. And now hearken to the voice of the words of the Lord. So said the Lord of hosts, and remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him on the way when he came out of Egypt. Now go, and you shall smite Amalek, and you shall utterly destroy all that is his, and you shall not have pity on him, and you shall slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass." Now, the reason why this is stated is because it's like the same idea as a cancer in humanity, in human beings. That if it's not cut out from its very root, it will grow back again, as we have seen, and this is part of the story. And Saul called the people together, and he counted them in Talatalaim, 200,000 footmen, and 10,000 the men of Judah. Now, as we see the war unfolding right now in Eretz Yisrael, that we realize it's a very small country which has always been surrounded by vicious people on the outside. And Saul came as far as the city of Amalek, and he fought in the valley. And Saul said to the Canaanite, "Turn away and go down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. And you did kindness with all the children of Israel when they went out of Egypt." The Kenites turned away from amidst Amalek. And Saul smote Amalek from Havilah until you came to Shur, which is in front of Egypt. And he seized Agag, the king of Amalek, alive. And he completely destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. And Saul and the people had pity on Agag, and on the best of the sheep and the cattle, the fatlings, and on the fattened sheep, and on all that was good, and they did not want to destroy them, but everything which was vile and feeble, that they utterly destroyed. And the word of the Lord came to Samuel, saying, "I regret that I have made Saul king, for he has turned back from following me, and he has not fulfilled my words, and to distress Shmuel, Samuel." And he cried out to the Lord all night. And Samuel arose early in the morning to meet Saul. And it was told to Samuel, saying, "Saul has come to Carmel. Behold, he is sitting up a place for himself." And he passed, and he went down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said to him, "May you be blessed of the Lord. I have fulfilled the word of the Lord." And Samuel said, "What then is this bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the loving of the oxen which I hear?" And Saul said, "They brought them from the Amalekites, from the people who had pity on the best of the sheep." So the people had pity on the best of the sheep and the oxen, in order to sacrifice to the Lord of your God. And the rest we have utterly destroyed. And Samuel said to Saul, "Desist, and I shall tell you what the Lord spoke to me last night." And he said to him, "Speak." And Samuel said, "Even if you are small in your own eyes, are you not the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Lord anointed you." as king over Israel? And the Lord sent you on a mission and said, Go, and you shall utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and shall wage war against them until they destroy them. Now why did you not hearken to the voice of the Lord, but you flew upon the spoil, and you did what was evil in the eyes of the Almighty? And Saul said to Shmuel, Yes, I did hearken to the voice of the Lord. I did go on the mission and on which the Lord sent me, and I brought Agag, the king of Amalek alive, and utterly destroyed the Amalekites. And the people took from the spoil the sheep and oxen, the best of the band, to sacrifice to your God in Gilgal. And Shmuel said, As the Lord as desire in burnt offerings and peace offerings, as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than a peace offering. To hearken is better than the fat of the rams. For rebellion is as the sin of divination, kind of idolatry. And stubbornness is as idolatry and teraphim, different idols. Since you rejected the word of the Lord, he has rejected you from being a king. And Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the Lord's command and your words, for I feared the people, and I hearkened to their voice. And now, forgive me. Forgive now my sin, and return with me, and I shall prostrate myself to the Lord. And Shmuel said to Saul, I shall not return with you, for you have rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord has rejected you from being a king over Israel. And Shmuel turned to go, and he seized the skirt of his robe, and it tore. And Shmuel said to him, The Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you today, and has given it to your fellow who is better than you. And also the strength of Israel will neither lie nor repent, for he is not a man to repent. And he said, I have sinned now. Honor me now in the presence of the elders of my people, in the presence of Israel, and return with me, and I shall prostrate myself to the Lord your God. And Samuel returned after Saul, and Saul prostrated himself to the Lord. And Samuel said, Bring Agag the king of Amalek near to me. And Agag went to him delicately. And Agag said, Surely the bitterness of death has returned. And Samuel said, As your sword bereaved women, so will your mother be bereaved among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Lord in Gilgal. And Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house in Gibeah of Saul. And Samuel came no more to see Saul, until the day of his death. For Samuel mourned for Saul, and the Lord was repentant that he had made Saul reign over Israel. Psalm number 1, the story and the life of our King, King David.